Hello, 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 and welcome. Thank you for joining us on Sunday night for our Vampire the Masquerade Nottingham by Night 1970s actual play. Let's get straight to it. Let's cut to the live scene and see whether the tech is working. That is a miracle. Excellent. So, without further ado, let us do some introductions. So, hello and welcome to our Vampire the Masquerade livestream chronicle, Nottingham by Night 1970s. First, thanks to our players for helping make this happen. We have Elsa, Jax, Mike, and Andrew. There's our Twitch moderators is the word I'm looking for. Stuart, Finley, and Elsa. And thank you to you, the viewers, for coming along on our twisted narrative journey. A word of warning, it is Vampire the Masquerade, and due to the nature of the game, we will at points be covering dark and mature subjects. If this is not for you, please check out some of our other streams instead. We do quite a lot of D&D stuff that doesn't cover as darker subjects. Thank you very much for the follow as well, Spirit of the Zombie. Really appreciate it. The stream will be approximately 3 hours. We'll be looking to take a couple of quick breaks to split the session into 3 1-hour bite-sized pieces. So, without further ado, in the words of Jason Cole, let's tell a vampire story. Nottingham, at the heart of Great Britain, a city steeped in history and blood. We have, I'm trying to do this, there we go. I'm going to share these this time with our coterie as well. They've not actually seen these images before, I don't think. We have King Richard I, the Lionheart, the Crusades, Sheriff of Nottingham, Nottingham Castle, Robin Hood, and Maid Marian, and the Merry Men. And like all histories, there's always truths hidden between fictions, misdirections, and lies. In kindred society, names such as Robin Leyland, Patricia of Bolingbroke, now better known as Tyler, and even those that kindred would actually call villains, such as Sullivan Dane, are all tied to this area. But it's impossible to stop entropy, and all things slowly wane and decay. The glory days of Nottingham are now a faded memory, a place condemned to history, to myth and fable. If a city could be put into torpor, then Nottingham would be its finest example. The city streets slick with rain, reflecting on the stark street lights. For some, though, it's their time. As darkness falls, they begin to rise. And this is where we rejoin our vampire story. Nottingham, Tuesday the 1st of October 1976, 36 years before the fall of London. For reference points in media, we have the fall and rise of Reginald Perrin. We have I, Claudius, and of course the ever classic Muppet Show. Logan's Run was released yesterday, and ABBA is still #1 with Dancing Queen. Our coterie, though, have had an unusually busy few days. A visit from Changeling Jack Shaw to make annual arrangements for the legendary Goose Fair. Being contacted by a Nosferatu known as Casper, rapidly travelling from the south to the north, wishing to rejoin with the primogen of Nottingham, Nosferatu, Professor Randolph Croup. The passage of a mysterious box across to our coterie, which they learned contained not just a old mummified hand, but a mysterious ring. Then visit across into the caves of Nottingham city centre to meet with the Primogen himself, Professor Croup, and a warning that things are slowly changing, that the ivory tower of Europe are looking to potentially use the Midlands as a place to gain a foothold in the political landscape of Albion itself. Professor Croup suggested that our coterie reach out to the sparse and few kindred in the region to potentially form some kind of accord, pact, to maybe work against this entrance of the ivory tower. They were given a few names, some they were aware of, some not so sure, and they returned back to rest for the night, to rest for the day, sorry, and to awaken in the night. And this is where we join our coterie now at a haven of sorts for them, records shop down the back alleys of Nottingham city centre by the name Stranger Sounds. Having just awoken and started to feel the hunger call to them, they had an incident right at the last of the end session. Their manager of Stranger Sounds getting fired twice. So, Coterie, things have happened. You tried to destroy the box, somewhat successfully, but at the cost of the ex-manager of Stranger Sounds immolating himself by accident. Fortunately, he has been extinguished, but he is in a terrible state. His flesh blistering. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna have to put him out of his misery, unfortunately. Oh, unfortunately for him, anyway. Um, as I am currently on 4 hunger and am bleeding from my hands, feet, and forehead due to an unfortunate situation with some stigmata. So as he is screaming, I lean over him, put my hand over his mouth, and drink from his charred neck. And I will drink him dry, taking myself down to 0 hunger.
As I see her doing that, I'm going to turn around and go back to where the bin is on fire, keeping my distance a little bit, but making sure that everything that is burning properly, and then collect the ashes afterwards.
Okay, so that's going to take a little time to burn down. For you, you are more or less alone, Petra, in the back of Stranger Sounds. I believe Albert had moved into the main shop area and closed the door.
No, I had, seeing that this was going to become a problem and wanting no part of it, I'd walked down the alley and off onto the street.
All right, so
I'm just gone.
you have just gone. Absolutely. So was it Rosamund then that had walked out into the shop proper?
Yes, I walked into the shop.
Okay, and securing the
And shut
door so that
Shut
none
the
of
door behind me, yes.
the customers of Stranger Sounds could see what on earth was going on. This is this is not a problem. You you easily feed, and you said you wanted to drain this poor individual dry, put him out of his misery.
Yes. The screams will just draw attention from anyone who can hear them, and I'm hungry.
You are very hungry. Well, it's a blessed relief for him, really. He probably highly unlikely he'd survive from the burns that he's received. His blood, his vitae, is sweet and empowered with pain, the heart, the panic, and you taste all of this as you drink him dry. As you know, if you do indeed take someone down to death, you can sate your hunger down to 0, which I see that you've done already. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so with that done, it doesn't make the body disappear though. This is a problem that you have to deal with at some point. Rosamund, whilst you're in the shop, Terry is kind of looking at you. Is everything okay? I thought I heard something.
Everything's fine. It's all good. No, nothing to see here. Carry on. Don't the ABBA records need restocking?
Well, yes. I'm glad you
There we go
noticed.
then.
They seem to. They seem to. They're selling very well. I can't believe it.
Yeah, no, that's great.
She grabs a few more, and you seem to have distracted her fairly much. I mean, it's still early in the evening at the moment. You've only just all sort of risen. It's round about 6:30, 7 o'clock, so you have the night ahead of you. The shop stays open, I believe, all through the night, really. A very unusual circumstance, but it works well. Is there anything you particularly want to do, Rosamund, whilst you are in the shop? If not, we can move across to Albert.
No, I'm just going to loiter here to make sure there's no disturbances.
Okay. So, Albert, you walked away from the scene. What is your intentions?
So, after a couple of nights without feeding, Albert is starting to feel a little hungry. And all of the problems behind him, as far as he's concerned, the fire, the box, that's being dealt with by the people. It's type of delegation. So what Albert is going to do is going to try and feed. So the way he's going to do that is he's going to go to a pub of some kind of bar. Not so much not so much like a club, but like an actual pub.
Okay.
And then he's going to just
Yeah.
sit up around until he sees someone that maybe has got a little bit too deep in the cups, and when they go to leave, take advantage of that.
Okay. It's an interesting time, sort of 6:30, 7 o'clock at night. Quite a lot of the time, it's just before people are coming out for a proper drink, but also there's a lot of people leaving work, and rather than sort of deal with the rush hour buses and the like, they head to the pub. So it's a perfect time. You see people, work colleagues, drinking, some quite heavily, really. It's kind of their life. Get up early, commute into work, work till sort of 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
Go out, have a few drinks with their work colleagues, head home, collapse semi-drunk, and you know this. You've seen this pattern over and over and over again.
Tale as old as time, centuries.
Absolutely. So you don't have to wait particularly long. You're not waiting for closing or anything like that. Last orders. You see a group of, you think they work for some kind of financial firm. They're dressed in suits, fashion of the day. They all do the sort of shaking hands and sort of kissing and like. They all head out into the wet street and start setting off. All of them have had a good few points, drank quite rapidly because they do want to head home. The alcohol flowing through their systems. Are these the kind of people you're looking for, or do you want to hold on to something different?
This is exactly the kind of people I'm looking for.
So,
Um,
just to clarify, there were 3 men, 1 woman, and they have all literally just gone off. Um, your keen senses, if you sort of stand up and begin to sort of follow them at a discreet distance, you see that a couple of them are heading towards the train station. One of them's heading towards a bus stop, and one person is heading towards a multi-story car park, the Broadmarsh Centre.
I'll follow the one heading towards the car park, I
Okay.
think. And then when we get actually into the car park,
hmm
I'd like to go up to the guy, turn on ore
Yep.
power, and say to him, "Excuse me,
He kind of is kind of a little confused, kind of looks up. At first, there's a hint of apprehension, maybe even fear. But he's in a car park alone. It's dark, and he hears a voice. But as soon as he turns and looks at you, don't do I know you? And all apprehension seems to wash away as you activate all.
yeah, I'm really sorry, but my car, I just can't get into it. I think I lost the keys. Could you possibly come and give me a hand looking?
Yeah,
If I don't get back, then
not at all. Not at all. I mean, if the worst comes to worst, I can give you a lift. Where do you live? Not that it really matters. You've got him. He's like putty in your hands at the moment. He could desperately trying to please you, and he follows you wherever you're sort of taking, wherever he believes you have your car, and where your keys may be.
yeah, I'll take him down into the um, bottom of the car park. Try and
Yeah.
find somewhere.
You've been in Nottingham for a fair while, and you probably have done this multiple times.
Yeah, I'd need to take him out of the car park actually, because I imagine this place has cameras. So even at this time,
Yeah,
even in the
fair
even,
enough. I mean, you can do that, or we can easily say, because this is one of your hunting grounds, that
yeah,
you know the cameras that are working and that aren't
yeah,
working.
okay,
You are a predator, in the sense of sort of animals, and this is not any kind of problem to you. None of your coterie, none of the kindred here have ever caused attention to yourselves. Um, you mind your own business, and it's been perfect for the last 10, 20, 30 years.
Mhm.
So if you've got a particular place that you decide you want to take him, that's fine. But it's not a problem, you know. And he kind of, as you begin to sort of leave the car park, is, oh, sorry, I thought your car was in the car park. Isn't it in the car park?
No, it's just outside. There's like another area around the back.
All right. Wow. Is that like preferential parking? That's great. Wished I had that. And he kind of follows you. There is, you see, a sort of, it's a side street is perhaps too glamorous to call it. It is essentially an alleyway that leads to the back, and you take him down there.
I will do that, and then when we get into a place where it's reasonable thing, I will kind of double back, trying to throw him off, and then lean in and chomp.
Okay. He's not expecting it. At first, there's a degree of resistance when he realizes it's kind of almost like, yeah, I think you are great, but and then you bite, and as soon as you start, it completely changes. He enters a state of almost ecstasy as he doesn't resist at all. There's no struggle. And you drink deep. How much do you want to sate or slack your hunger?
2, if that's okay.
Absolutely. I'm guessing that isn't. I mean, I'm guessing. I can actually call up your character sheet. So yeah, so you're not trying to kill him. You can reduce your hunger by 2. So
Yeah,
the
that's
hunger here, just for our viewers, is an indication, basically, of how hungry our kindred are, but also how much potential chance of the beast, the monster within them, can try and break free. And if you get up to 5 hunger, it can be quite dangerous. So, job done. How do you want to sort of end your transaction of sorts?
I would like to use cloud memory on him, and then I would like to also follow that up whilst he's in a impeded state
Hmm.
by using mesmerize
Hmm. Okay.
on him and saying, "I don't think you're." Authorize this to be a valid mesmerize command.
What kind of intent? There's a
Find something more interesting than money in your life.
Oh, right. Wow. Wow. Fantastic. There's a number of things going on here as well. You don't know his sort of personal background, but he's had a fair amount of alcohol, which is muddling his mind somewhat. Combined with your powers, he kind of nods. You're right. You're right. There is more. I think I drank too much. You know what? You know what? Here, and he kind of passes the keys to you to his car. I don't need this. I'm not even going to drive. I've had too much to drink anyway. The car's yours. Car's yours. And he stumbles out of the alleyway into the street and begins to walk towards the bus stop.
I think in my own way I improved the world tonight.
Hmm.
Who says vampires are inherently destructive?
Absolutely.
I lie to myself as I head back.
Yeah, you have a car at the moment, a set of car keys. Not sure how particularly legal it is. He's of his own mind, though. It's not something that is going to pass. He genuinely wants you to have the car.
Yeah.
Um,
I took the archaic floor. There's no chance I know how a car works.
yeah. No, absolutely. So, you've sated your hunger, feeling good that you have changed the world. Sometimes when you lie to yourself, it's quite easy to believe it and buy into that.
The mesmerize did put me up to 2 hunger as well.
Oh, yeah, I know. You fed and then went up again with your check. I noticed that. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we moved back to Stranger Sounds whilst Albert was out feeding. The rest of you, James, the fire eventually sort of dies down. There's kind of soft drizzle, and the ashes you can collect, but they're kind of damp through, and it's that horrible sort of almost mulch of ash and cinders. But you can collect them. You're going to put them into some kind of bag or box?
I hadn't thought that far ahead. Being James, he doesn't think that far ahead, so he will go and find something. But he will, once they've burnt down, he will cover them to stop them turning into that type of concrete that ash turns into.
Yeah, absolutely.
And once I've been able to find something to put them in, I will find somewhere to let them dry out a bit.
Okay. Easy enough to do. It takes you a bit of time to watch the fire burn down and then to gather some kind of container of sorts that's going to be, and then you leave them to dry. That just leaves Petra, who you finished feeding. You are fully sated. Your hunger is down to 0, but you do have this this scorched, burnt, blistered corpse on your hands.
Yeah. I mean, that I sort of turned to James like that hasn't happened in quite a long time. Can you remember what we do with these?
No, straight
No.
no. No.
Okay.
No.
Um,
Did he need to die?
I kind of had no choice, unfortunately.
Are
I
you,
mean,
are you 100% sure about that?
did you see the bleeding that was happening? Because that
He
it,
he could have survived. He could have survived.
he wouldn't have survived. I'm sorry, James. I understand that it is not something that you wish to happen, let alone see.
Death, death is understandable in certain circumstances, and just as long as it was the best outcome, I will try to forget it.
Thank you.
At which point, I am 100% going to try and roll insight.
Yeah, I mean, give us an insight roll. I mean, I'm not quite sure what this is. This will be insight and probably wits. Um, I'm assuming you're trying to incite Petra if she meant to do this or not.
If she is telling the truth about it being for the best, I think. If she
Okay.
actually believes that or just wanted to kill for the sake of killing.
Yeah.
But
roll the insight. I think I know the answer to this anyway, how Petra would perceive it, but I'm going to let Petra answer that once you've done your insight roll.
that is a strong.
Oh,
It was for the best.
Dear, that's a
that's a
bestial
failure.
Yeah.
What's your hunger at the moment?
My hunger's at 2.
Okay. So, you begin to just listen to her words, and a rage comes upon you as your beast is just whispering to you, you could have saved him. She killed him. She killed him. And your hunger goes up to 3 with that bestial failure. You contain it, you suppress the beast, but it makes you mad that maybe it was for the best, maybe, but the point is she didn't try, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
If she had tried, if she at least tried first, that might have been okay. I'll let you play it out though, play the scene out between you and Petra yourselves as you feel the beast, the hunger surge within you.
I mean, could you not have at least attempted? I mean,
The boy was burnt to a crisp.
he could have still lived a full life afterwards. Maybe brutally scarred, but we both have friends who are like that.
Yes, but what kind of life do they actually lead?
I quite enjoyed spending time in the cave.
James, it's just not the life for a mortal.
Well,
it was for the best, both for him and for me.
Maybe it isn't the life for a mortal. Maybe there was something else we could have done.
I apologize. It's too late now.
Okay. At this point, I am going to hand her the box of ashes that I've given and said to find somewhere to dry this out, and I'm gonna leave.
Okay. So you head out into the night. It's still early. There is much to do. Okay. So
I'm just gonna hoist the body over my shoulder, and sort of peek round the door and see if Rosamund's got the way clear that I can make it down to the basement for the time being.
This is going to be interesting. The problem with Stranger Sound, especially this time of night, is the perfect place to wait a few hours, either for your buses or whatever. And the store, as usual, is full of usual faces. Terry is running around and actually interacting with them, asking them sort of their favourite music and being the ideal sort of store manager. Petra, not Petra, sorry, Rosamund, what are you actually doing in the store, if anything, at the moment?
I am quite literally just sort of loitering near the door, waiting to see what happens. So,
Okay, so you see the door open, you see Petra look through, and you see that she has a corpse over her shoulder. You
I
also
will.
see the store is full of people.
I will push her back through the door and then come through and shut the door behind me the other way
Okay.
and be like, "What are you doing?
I was going to try and take it
Bring
down to the
the
basement.
corpse through the shop."
I kind of forgotten what we do with them. It's been so long since anything like this happened.
Do you know what day the shop bins get collected?
It might be tomorrow. I don't know. I guess he used to deal with that. Oh, okay.
Have you know? You must have some bins back here for the shop. Can we just put him in there temporarily, at least?
Yeah,
Under
this
some
is
bags. So
just
that,
as a quick time reminder, this is the 1970s. The
well,
bins
we've had to
then
chop 'em
are,
up.
I was going to say the bins are the metal
yeah,
I
absolutely.
round
would
ones
like
that
to
we've just
point
burnt
out that
it
we
to,
have
haven't we?
actually just put
Yeah,
holes in the
Uh,
bottom of it and
the
burnt
one we've just
box in it.
decimated.
yeah.
There are no big plastic
Okay.
wheelie bins in the 1970s.
Plan B. I will cause a distraction in the shop, and you will use that opportunity to shift the corpse. Okay?
How close to how close to the river are we at the moment?
I mean, you're in the city centre basically, so not far realistically, but it is quite a walk. I don't believe any of you got any kind of transport.
No.
Um, it's
I've got a car.
yeah. As
Yeah, but you're
Albert
not back yet.
arrives, no. I mean, I like to think that Albert has been watching you for a couple of minutes as you're standing in the alleyway, kind of looking at this dustbin, kind of like, yeah, it's not going to fit in there at all. And yeah, Albert says, "I've got a car."
Oh, excellent. I mean, I don't know if I can drive or not. It's probably something I can give it a try. I think last time I attempted was probably back in the 20s.
Yeah. I'm just going to go over and look at the body and be like, got a bit carried away.
Yep. Went a bit wrong.
Bit crispy.
Bit crispy.
Smells good though.
Into the back of the car for the time being then.
The car is unfortunately in Broadmarsh Centre.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't
You-
drive.
you could have told us that when you said you had a car, you could have told us that it wasn't here.
I just gesture around me. Why would I just have a car outside the store?
I don't know what cars look like these days. It might be invisible for all I know. Okay.
We need a plan C now.
The shop door, the door between the shop and where you are is. Hello, it's Terry. Is everything okay? I've just got
Everything's fine.
a.
Go back inside. Look after everyone inside.
She hasn't opened the door. Oh,
If you can't
okay.
get it open, I'm just blocking it.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've just had a request for some back catalogue records of ABBA, some singles. Do you want me to see if I can get them? They really like Dancing Queen, and they want me to see if I can order some 45s for them.
Oh. Okay.
I,
Sure. Yes. Go and do that. Stay away from here at the moment. You do whatever you need to do.
right, okay.
God, that hurt.
You'll regret it. Well, I've been listening to some of their things. The earlier songs are even worse than current things.
Oh. Oh dear.
I
Okay.
don't know why you hate them, but never mind. This is not the point. Let's deal with the crispy thing first.
Tonight is just getting worse. Okay. I think Rosamund, if you go upstairs in the third storeroom to the left, there
Okay.
should be a tarpaulin from that time that we had a hole in the roof.
Okay. I'll. Yeah, I can do that for you.
Can
Okay.
you go and get that for me, please?
Yes. I will head off.
Easy enough to go up there. What uh, uh, describe to me, Petra, how you keep your things.
I mean, it might not be in the third room to the left.
Yeah,
It might be in any of the rooms anywhere. There is no organisation to the storerooms upstairs.
and so it's
Oh
just
my
dumped there.
God.
It'll be sort of dusty and dirty, and
Oh no, not.
is that correct? Again, I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to take assumptions. So, yeah, you open the first door, well, the third door, and you kind of, a few things sort of almost fall out into the hallway. It smells really bad. You think there's probably some kind of dead animal. Well, you hope it's a dead animal, because otherwise this is maybe where she stored some of the other bodies in the past.
Oh,
You can hardly get into the room.
oh no. Oh.
It's filthy in there. Absolutely.
I'm not going in there. I'm not going in there. I'm gonna go get a throw from my room
And
get that.
your room is magical. Let me find
It
the image
is
of your room.
magical.
Yeah, no,
It doesn't make me feel ill like this room
no,
does.
I'm just going to find a picture of the room so we can share it with people to show how magical it is. I think it's that one there. Do you want to quickly describe while I share that to you and everybody else?
Yes, my room. Well, I mean, if you weren't me and you were looking at this, you might think it was a cupboard, but it's not. It's just a very chic inner city flat, made beautiful with drapes and fairy lights and photos of bands and people that I've met, and just it's just beautiful,
So you've
very
got
chill.
a really difficult decision. One of these throws, you're gonna have to choose.
I don't want to, but I'm. What's I like which one's the least sheer? That one.
Yeah,
The one that
I mean, it's one of your favourites, the Lee Shear one. It's
I
it's it's
know.
beautiful. The
I
colours.
am going to make Petra pay for this. I am so going to make her pay, but that's what we're going to do. So
Okay.
yes.
So again, your kindred, you can easily manipulate. It's quite heavy sort of throw, really. I mean, it's certainly fit for purpose. It is going to cover the body quite nicely, and you bring it downstairs. Um,
Okay.
you catch up with the other two, or three technically, as the ex-manager over Petra's shoulder. I'm assuming you haven't put him down yet.
No, not yet.
I brought this. This okay?
I that doesn't look like a tarpaulin.
You sent me to some hell-forsaken room that I don't know how you expected anybody to find anything in there, and I was not touching that filth. So
I mean,
you
should
owe
know.
me a new throw, hun. But
Okay,
I'm here for you. So
but you should know how the
I've
rooms are. Yours was exactly the same before you did whatever you did.
no, it was never that bad. Never. Nope.
Mm.
It's always been beautiful. It's mine and it's beautiful.
I do
Okay.
have a suspicion that the way Petra works is move into a room, wait for it to get sufficiently untidy, and then move to
Move
another
out
room.
to another room.
Pretty much.
That's probably why she bought the second store in the first place.
Yep.
Assumption.
I mean, yeah, the music shop next door just started becoming cluttered with musical instruments, so I moved next door to buy records instead.
Perfect.
Okay,
So,
yes. If Right, Rosamund, if you can just lay that down for me, then I will definitely
oh,
buy you a replacement.
such a waste. Thank you. I get to choose the replacement though, right? Yes.
Sure.
Thank you. Cool. Okay. I'll lay out my this beautiful throw onto this filthy floor so that you can deal with the
Okay. It's a simple action to roll the body up, and it is fundamentally a body in a carpet at the moment, more or less. We've all been there, let's face it.
Yep.
Now, I mean, you've got a body in a carpet. Congratulations. It still looks relatively suspicious, but not as suspicious as a burnt corpse over your shoulder.
Okay. I think the next plan then would be to see, out of character. I still don't know Nottingham very well. So how far
It's okay.
is the
Yeah, sorry.
Broadmarsh Centre versus the river?
From where you are, you think definitely the Broadmarsh Centre is closest.
Okay. Yes, in that case, I'm gonna go by myself, so I don't sort of drag anyone else into anything that
Now,
might happen.
you kind of know that your kindred strength is going to allow you easily to carry this. Unfortunately, it's going to look a little bit odd, you being able to carry this. So, I mean, you can take that chance, drawing attention yourself, showing that you look a lot stronger than you, because it's not just strength, it's kind of bulk, you
I
know.
was gonna say I've just remembered I need Albert to come along to show me where the car is anyway.
Okay, do you ask Albert that?
So I will sort of just motion over to him like, come on, off we hop. We need to go see this car of yours.
I'll sarcastically salute, and off we go.
Now, an important question, because we didn't really clarify this. Did you wait for him to get to his car before?
I did not.
Okay,
No.
again, I didn't want to be the kind of GM to put that in there. That doesn't necessarily mean, Petra, that you actually know. Albert doesn't know where this car is, and it's down to Albert to either say or just follow your instructions for the moment. What would you like to do?
I mean,
It's more Albert. Do you say
we'll
anything?
definitely head
No,
there.
I think I can figure out where the car is.
That's okay.
I imagine that the make will be on the key. Is a guess.
It is a guess. If only this, and I'm going to say some blasphemy here. If only this was Call of Cthulhu, and you could make a luck roll. I'm going to say yes. I'm putting pressure on the GM to actually make a decision rather than just randomly rolling dice. I'm going to say yes. You can certainly work out the make of the car because of the type of key it is. Not actually work out what make a car because of the type of key. It's got the name of the make on the key.
Yep. So I don't know the direction he was headed in. So as far as I'm concerned, I know exactly where the car is.
Perfect.
This is fine.
Let us see how this runs out. So Albert and Petra begin to set off. Rosamund, do you want anything to do with this, or are you just going to stay in the store or do something else?
I do not want anything to do with that. I feel like I've already stretched myself by sacrificing something so beautiful to such a heinous thing. So I'm going to stay in the shop. I'm just going to hang out and chill out and try and refocus after that drama.
The night is very young, and you kind of go in, and again you see some familiar faces. But before we come to that, let us move back to James, who kind of left. James, what are you up to? Are you headed out into the night?
I headed out into the night, but actually what I did was just circle around to the front of the shop, taking my time, and maybe having a little stop on a corner and waiting to try and calm myself down a little bit.
Yeah. So I mean,
what I then do.
Yeah, go.
Sorry.
I was just going to describe a bestial failure. So.
Oh no, yeah. After you.
You fundamentally failed the check. So you were trying to see whether she was lying or not, and perversely, because you failed, you're not kind of sure whether she was lying or not. But because it was a bestial failure, it kind of enhanced that feeling to you. So as you do move around, you do begin to sort of calm down a little bit and say, well, maybe she was telling the truth, as you control that beast within you and the hunger. So
there
anyway,
is the possibility that she was telling the truth, but the word that resonated with me is she didn't try.
Yeah.
There was no there was no attempt to save this, what I believe to be innocent person.
Fair enough.
So after about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer, I'm going to walk back into the shop and I'm going to go back into her dark, dingy corner where she keeps all of her favorite Mozart records, Beethoven records, all of them.
Yeah.
I'm going to collect them all. And
Wow.
I am going to take them away because the guilty must be punished.
And this is, I believe, one of your convictions, or
One of my convictions. So that's 2 of them in
yeah.
10 minutes of a game. I am going to take them, all of them. Just load them up into a basket, a trolley, or even just take the rack. And I'm going to live. Where am I going to put them? She can have them back when she's proved that or when I feel that she has been punished. So I'm going to take them back to my haven.
Okay. So, I mean, that is going to take time.
Yeah.
So you do that, and you kind of see, you kind of said you're taking your time. So by the time that Albert and Petra have kind of left and are walking down towards Broadmarsh Centre with this suspicious looking wrap with an actual body in, I'm assuming you are pretending to carry it together so that it doesn't look like one of you is supernaturally strong.
Yep, they're just 2 people carrying a carpet.
Yeah. Sort of 7:30 on a what day is it? There is a fantastic function in Fancy Grounds which works perfectly for modern games, which is calendar. So Friday is Friday the 1st of October 1976.
Yeah, but this is when you deliver carpets, because if you deliver it any early in the day, everyone's at work. So you need to deliver it when people are at home. This is prime carpet delivering time.
Yeah. I don't have an issue with that, and I think that works quite nicely for the moment. So whilst that is going on, James, you come back into the store. You see Petra. You see Rosamund chatting. We'll come to that in a minute. You go into the back and you gather up these records and then head to your haven. Okay, so that is taking you out of the game. Petra, not Petra. Why am I doing this? Where's my notes? Rosamund. Yeah, no, I know you now. I've got your character sheet right in front of me.
It's all good. So few people forget me, honestly. I'm very
I know.
disappointed.
So here tonight, you do see a number of familiar faces. Once again, Hamish is here at the moment. He's still not gone yet. You spoke to him about the bouncer at Lost Souls.
I did.
I believe last night. Could have been earlier today before we did. You see that Rosa Carr is now hanging around as well. This is the one that keeps looking daggers at you, and you're not quite sure whether she's jealous because because her boyfriend Spencer has taken a liking to you, or whether you haven't taken a liking to her in particular. Also, Dr. Alan Harris arrives, working at the university, and is looking through some second-hand records as well. If there's anybody that you wanted to talk to, you can do. If not, we'll cut scenes to the car park.
I will have a quick talk to Rosa, see if I can patch things over a bit. So I'll go over and smile sweetly and be like, Rosa, it's lovely to see you.
Yeah, and she smiles back. Thank you. It's good. I mean, sorry. Look, I know there's nothing going on. There is nothing going on between you and Spencer, is there?
Of course not. No, absolutely.
All right. Because you know he's.
He's with you, darling. It's fine.
Well, he is, but you know, I can't really call him a man. You know what boys are like, you know.
Yes, it's yeah. It's
So,
it's fine.
what are you doing tonight? I've sent Spencer off, so maybe you and me could just hang out for a while.
Well, I'm here at the shop for a little while. I've just got to keep things running here for a bit, but we can We can hang out. You can show me what music is interesting at the minute if you like.
It's all about punk. It's all about punk.
I know you do love your punk, don't you?
Well, it speaks to me, you know. It speaks to me. It's about being yourself. It's uh, about sticking your fingers up at authority. They're not good for you, you know. They say they have your best interest, but they don't.
It's an interesting perspective.
What do you
hadn't
mean
really-
perspective? I mean, I know that you're all prim and pretty, but you know,
Oh, this cat's got claws as well, darling. Don't worry.
have you? She smiles. I'd like to see them sometime.
Well, who knows? Maybe, but not tonight.
My loss, maybe your loss, she says.
Maybe. But
Look, we should go out sometime. You know, just you and me, not Spencer.
oh, I think Spencer's good for you. He is a little boy, but he's so full of charm and enthusiasm, and that band is going to get big. You don't want to miss that.
Yeah, it'll be my making if it does. They're all rubbish.
Well,
I mean, rubbish at organising anything. They can't even book a venue. I have to do all of that. They don't appreciate me for it, you know.
well, that's very often the case, I think. But imagine what you can achieve.
I couldn't
It's quite
organise a piss
impressive.
up in a brewery, I'll tell you that. God,
Wow.
yeah. They don't even, when we do rehearsals, one of them forgets to bring his bloody instrument.
That's very punk, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, I like the punk, but like, we do need like to practice.
Well, oh, okay. I didn't know that. I must admit, I didn't know if punk bands did practice or if it was all about the live show.
It's
But
about the live show, but you know, there's an art to it as well, an art to looking bad. I mean, you know, there's bands that just are bad, and you know they're bad, and then there's bands that look bad, but you know that they're good.
a sort of curated kind of bad. I see. Yes, yes. Well, I wouldn't abandon Spencer quite yet. I think with your influence, they could really go far.
Right, well, thanks. I'll no doubt
Oh,
be abandoned along the way. That's the way that it normally goes.
oh,
As soon as money's
you're a
involved, you know.
I don't think so. I don't think so. He's
Well,
still got puppy eyes for you. I can see that. So.
yeah, but sick dog is not exactly what I want, she says, leaning into you.
Well, I think there's something worthwhile in being the one behind the band that creates that success. So I find that quite attractive.
Really?
Hmm.
Okay. Oh, well, I'll think on it. Well, if you're busy and you don't fancy a drink, then I'll head off now. It was good to talk to you
I'm
though.
afraid it was good to speak to you. I'm sorry other responsibilities keep me here this evening.
Yeah, well,
But,
you should like stick your fingers up at them and come out and have a drink with me instead.
I wouldn't be a very good friend if I did that now, would I? So
Bit of anarchy here and there doesn't hurt.
we can't all be punk.
Wow. See,
Have a good evening.
that's what they want to tell you. You can't be all punk. That's what the authorities say. But you can. It's never too late to rebel against authority. And she kind of sort of nods, and you see that she's got a spirit. There's something about there, and she kind of smiles at you. It was good talking, and she leaves.
And you.
Okay, so the shop, fairly standard, usual Friday night. James heading back to his haven to put these records somewhere safe. So we go to Petra and we go to Albert. You get to the Broadmarsh car park, no problem. Easily get to the level of the floor that you encountered him on. And what would you like to do now?
So now, all right, Petra, stick this carpet down here, and I'll go and find the car.
Okay. I mean, could just tell me where it is, and we can go over there. It would be easier than standing around with a body in a blanket.
It is Friday night. It's about 7:30 coming to on 8 o'clock now. And if this was any other night of the week, it wouldn't be so busy. But Friday nights, this is the time that people are coming into town. Cars are coming into the car park, and it's beginning to busy up a little bit now.
Okay, let's head over in this direction and take a look for it.
Yeah, it's a shame it's not the future where they have keys that you can press buttons and it. Yeah, no, this is. I mean, imagine a world where you could do that. Never forget where your car is again by randomly moving along and pressing a button.
So I'm going to start then. If I'm going to lower the carpet to the floor.
Yeah.
And start quickly walking along the lines looking for it.
Okay. I mean, you said you're not particularly good with technology, but how are you looking for it? You know the manufacturer.
I'm looking for the manufacturer and also a car that looks of decent value.
Yeah.
He says he's a businessman, so
No, I mean,
which I probably specify as being a bit shinier.
yeah,
Or maybe less blocky. Maybe I don't know.
okay.
That said, it is the 70s, so everything looks like a brick on wheels.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll let you pitch. I mean, stat, but awareness, wits could be good. Insight, wits could also be good. To kind of get into the mind of the kind of car he might have driven.
Okay.
It's up to you.
I'll try wits insight if that's okay.
Yeah, I think it's totally appropriate.
Okay. Is that right? There we are. Let's do this. Okay. No, that's not enough dice. One sec. There we are. No, it seems to be.
Sorry, I've got me.
There we are.
There we go. That's nice. 2 successes.
I'll spend a willpower to.
Okay. Want to make certain, which is fine.
Because otherwise alarms go off.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's. Oh, that's still. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so still 2 successes. Yep.
Yeah. So, sorry, I'm just confused. You got 2 successes, and you rolled.
And then I rolled the 2 blank
dice.
dice.
Yeah. Okay.
And still failed.
Yeah. No, that's cool. So 2 successes. It's more about time than anything else, and it takes a good 15-20 minutes for you to finally locate the car. And yeah, it's for the time period, it is quite an expensive vehicle. It's not overly sporty, though. You'll be pleased to know, and there is a boot, as we would call it in the UK, rather than a trunk in the US. And it's not too far away. You managed to catch him on the floor that the car was on as well. So you can perhaps gesture across to Petra.
I'll give her a cheery wave.
In the sort of the time that it's taken Albert to locate this car, I would have just sort of stood looking very grumpy and actually sort of fake smoking a cigarette to sort of get across the fact that I have just been left. Just for anyone sort of walking past and wondering why I'm just stood there. Is there anyone on this floor of this car park right now?
Not at the moment, and it's not too much of a distance, so you think you can get away with carrying it. 70s car parks aren't particularly well lit, especially this floor at the moment. There is a light, but it's kind of flashing on and off at the moment, as if the bulb at some point is about to sort of go. So you don't think it's going to be too challenging for you.
Cool. I'll just sort of scoop it up under my arm and walk over to the car then.
Okay, so you have a car and you have a body in a blanket. Where are you going to put the body?
Into the boot.
Okay.
But first I will take the keys off of Albert. Because I'm assuming that he has not opened it because he has no idea what he's doing.
I could probably figure out the key side of it.
Yeah.
Not the actual car. So I can open the boot, but the
Okay.
actual gizmos probably not.
Great thing about the 70s, it's fairly straightforward. The key goes into the lock and you turn it and it opens. The boot is empty. You put the body in, close the boot. Job done, really. Who's going to?
Great. Yeah, I'm gonna sort of get into the driver's seat. And I think we're gonna head out towards the river. I'm just trying to work out where might be best to dump a body. And I'm thinking that I probably would have headed out to sort of the marina in the past.
Okay.
It's
I mean, you've spent
relatively quiet.
you've spent an awful lot of time in Nottingham. There are no sat navs or anything like that for the moment, so it's a case of just following the road signs, but you may easily be able to remember it. I see there's a drive skill here on here, which is always nice. You have 2 dots in drive, Petra. I'm not going to penalise you for saying that you drove in the 20s and didn't do it.
I mean, that's pretty much when it would have been.
Yeah.
So it's sort of 2 dots that I picked up in the 20s and haven't used for a long time. So
I think what we will do then is, rather than sort of penalise you, we'll say make a roll. So drive and probably intelligence. So 5 dice to see if you can work out how a modern car sort of moves. Ooh, so that is 2 successes. Do you want to do any willpower, or are you happy with the 2 successes?
I think I'll be happy with the 2 successes. I'm not
Yeah.
expecting myself to be a sort of immediately be able to start this up properly.
So fortunately, 70s cars are not high tech. There's not lots of flashing gizmos and buttons and depress the clutch to make the ignition fire, etc., etc. You literally put the key in pretty much like in the 20s. You press the accelerator, kind of, it fires up, and it's like riding a bike, except it's a car, and you begin to bring it out. 2 successes is a straightforward thing, and with the fact that you can drive already, it takes you a little bit of a roll to sort of drive round, but you manage to navigate very haphazardly out of this car park, going down the ramps. You're not stupid. You've got 3 in intelligence, and you can easily follow the signs to the exit, and it's really just going round and round, down a couple of levels, and then you get to what appears to be a barrier, and the barrier doesn't raise.
I'll look around and sort of see if there's anyone that should be raising this barrier for me.
No one that you can sort of see. There's a little box that is by the driving side.
So, hello.
Uh,
Can
you
we come out of the car park, please?
Hello, love. You just put your ticket in the box. You paid your ticket. Put your ticket in the box.
Oh, I don't know. I'll come back to you in a moment.
It's okay, duck. I'll come and help you.
No, that's fine. I'm okay for the moment. I'm sure I've got the ticket around here somewhere.
Okay. Well, buzz again if you need any help, duck.
Will do. Thanks. And I'll sort of look around and see if there's anywhere it looks like it could be a ticket. So if there's a glove box or like a sun visor that you might have tucked it into, something like that.
Am I in the car at this point? Sorry.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, I'm assuming that you are in the car as well. It is an assumption, but did you want to do anything, Albert?
No, I will just, as soon as that's said, start frantically looking for a ticket.
Okay. So you look around. Fortunately, behind the sun visor, there's a ticket there.
Oh, excellent. I think this is right, and I'll sort of poke it out, sort of hold it out towards the slot on the box.
Yeah, I mean, it's an obvious. It's not a scan ticket. That is future tech. There's a little slot where you just need to put the ticket in.
And then I'll sort of stare at the barrier expectantly.
It does. Can you give me a awareness and wits roll?
Yep. Oh, might help if I picked up the right button on there. Let's try that again. She nearly got awareness and resolve.
That's looking good. Yeah, so you basically noted 4 successes. Almost at the same point that the barrier rises, your ticket comes back out again. And this is obviously, with that success, it's kind of like a sort of either monthly, quarterly, or yearly pass. And you know, this is good.
Yeah, I'll grab the ticket back again.
Yeah, and you leave.
Yep.
Success as you head towards, where did you say you're going?
I think I'm going to go to the marina.
Marina. Okay.
Yeah.
That's not very far away. There are some sort of boats there, but there's also the river and the canal. There's a whole, I mean, the River Trent is obviously very important, cutting through the city. I think at this point it's the perfect point to take a quick 5-minute break. So we're going to come back in 5 minutes. Please, viewers, stay tuned for the next exciting episode of operating car park barriers. It's terrible life that the Kindred need to do. Please stay tuned. We'll be back in 5 minutes.